Hello, everyone, and welcome to the webinar. Thank you so much for joining us to learn how to become the agent past clients never forget. And we'll get into how you're going to do that as we go through the webinar presentation today. I am Shannon. I am the sales director here with Exact Contact and look forward to giving you the overview, not just of Exact Contact, but some specific action items that you can take back to your business and action right away today to make sure that your past clients are still thinking of you and sending you the referrals. That ultimately, that's what we all want to do. So just a quick little housekeeping item before we jump in. We do have my colleague Julio on the line with us today. Find that little questions box in your GoToWebinar dashboard. Pop it out so that you can throw your questions in there. Julio will be answering questions throughout the live webinar, and I will do my best to jump in there towards the end and leave some time to answer any questions that need to be answered towards the end of the webinar session today. So give Julio a wave, tell him hi, let us know where you're joining us from in that questions box, and I am going to jump right in. So our objectives today are to first and foremost set up what is a real estate CRM and why it's a cornerstone to your success in real estate sales. And we're going to talk about Exact Contact specifically today. And I encourage you to sort of think of it this way. If you're not using a real estate CRM, consider using Exact Contact. If you have a real estate CRM, think about how it works for your business and find some things today that you can take back to your CRM and make sure that it does those things. If you don't like your real estate CRM, you find that it's hard to use, you don't log into it, whatever your reason is, I encourage you to sort of look objectively at Exact Contact, compare with what you have, make sure that some of these key items are set up and working for your business. It's just going to make it so much easier for you to stay top of mind long term. So, that's ultimately what we want to do, is give you some simple ways that you can put, and again, we're talking specifically to Exact Contact today, to put it to work for your business to help you just ultimately stay organized. And of course, I will show you how you can get started with Exact Contact, and do stick around to the end because we have a special offer for all of our webinar attendees today. So I always start with what exactly is a real estate CRM, and I should almost start one step ahead of this, is what is a CRM? And I've asked this question multiple times. I encourage you to throw it into the Q&A, an answer to what is CRM to you? What does CRM mean? And I always get some interesting answers. It's customer relationship management system is what the abbreviation breaks down to. But I've also heard things like continually reminding me, which I think is accurate, should be continually reminding you, keeping you on track with your business. And specifically, a real estate CRM is a customer relationship management system that's designed with the needs of realtors in mind. So it includes things like an active business area, so you can manage your listings and closings and all the tasks that go along with those. You have automated drip marketing plans that we've written for you. So it's written with buyers and sellers, prospects, past clients in mind. And along with the drip marketing, there's a pretty extensive library of real estate specific email and letter templates, e-card templates to, again, make it easy for you to maintain that follow-up. And among those templated emails is a professionally written and designed monthly e-newsletter that makes it easy for you to stay in touch and stay top of mind with everyone in your database. So we write that for you with brand new content on a monthly basis. So I'm going to walk you through all of those things as we get into the system. If I've got time, I'll show you our websites to help you build your online presence. But I do want to start with CRM, focus on that, and hopefully we'll have time to get into to some of the other features, like things like the website. So ultimately, your CRM is a tool that will help you be one of the top agents. And Active Rain did a study that showed that using a real estate CRM was found to be key to the success of top performing agents. Now, there was all kinds of questions in that survey that asked agents, like, what kind of car do you drive, and do you do more buyers or sellers, and what's your income, what tools are you using to manage your business. And CRM was found to be one of the key tools that higher earning agents were utilizing for their business. And things like email marketing, particularly a consistent monthly e-newsletter, was also integral to their success. And I know if you've had any real estate coaching training, through your brokerage, or you've gone out and found your own independent coach, fantastic. I know they've all told you, don't just do something once, right? In your marketing, the repetitiveness of that makes it easy for people to remember you. You're floating to the top of their inbox on a monthly basis. If you're doing it as direct mail, don't do it once and assume that because no one called you from your direct mail that it didn't work. Do it again and again and again. And you're investing over time in building that presence longer term. Ultimately, when we talk about CRM, the higher performing agents were actually twice as likely, as part of this active rain study, twice as likely as their lower performing counterparts to be using a real estate CRM to help them manage their business. It really is a key to a referral-based business. And that's why we're talking about making you the agent that your past clients cannot forget, right? And maybe someone moves into their house and it's their dream home and they're going to live there for 25 years. Fantastic. But if you did a fantastic job helping them get into that home, then they should be telling all their friends and family about you when they also have real estate needs. So I've got another little stat for you. And this one is, the top performing agents, great. We know that top performing agents are using a real estate CRM. Here's some scary data for you. So first of all, good news, 3 times the number of people who found their agent through any other forms of marketing found their agent through a referral. So for the most part, your past clients, they're going back to their friends and family and they're making those referrals. Good news. Not so good news is that 85% of homeowners, as part of the NAR home seller profile study, 85% of homeowners said they would use the same agent again. It's actually, I think it was a little higher than 85%. Or they said I don't necessarily know I'm going to have another real estate need, but I would definitely recommend my agent to others in my network. Less than 20% actually did. I think the most recent home seller profile study was something like 14%, 13% had actually made the referral. So why is this happening? Why, if you guys are doing such a great job, if 85% of homeowners said, I would absolutely recommend my agent or use them again, and such a low number actually are, why? They forgot your name. Whose fault is that? The bottom line is you have to stay top of mind with your past clients so that they become important referral sources. If they can't remember you, if they never hear from you again after the transaction, how are they ever going to call you back when they have another real estate need or recommend you to their friend, family member, someone in their sphere when somebody says, yeah, I'm thinking about buying a house? They should think of you immediately. And the only way to do that is to stay top of mind. So now I'm going to dive into, that was sort of high level CRM and why. So what is Exact Contact? And Exact Contact is what we call a next generation real estate CRM. It's an all-in-one real estate CRM that includes things like your email marketing. It includes a website. It includes social media marketing. There's a ton of automation, and we're always at the forefront of making things easier for you in that follow-up. So I want to talk about just some of the key features, things like our Keep in Touch coach. And I'm going to walk through the whole system in just a couple minutes here. But the Keep in Touch coach is smart, and it tells you who to follow up with at the right time based on your last activity and based on the status that you've given that person. So you're going to get reminded more often for hot prospects than you are for long-term prospects. Maybe you set a different interval for your past clients, but no one ever falls through the cracks ever again. We have the automated monthly e-newsletter, which I talked about just a second ago. There's the ability to set goals and track your performance. And that's not just goals for your finances, it's also goals for your follow-up and your communication. So if you said, I'm going to make X number of phone calls and talk to X number of people, or send, I'm going to send 5 handwritten notes a week for the entire year. You can set a goal and then track where you're actually performing to those goals. You can manage all of your leads. So today we're talking more specifically about past clients and repeat business, but you can also have your leads from basically any online source. You can upload leads, you can have them captured from your website, your online advertising, automatically into the CRM, and then manage those from new lead all the way through until they do become your past clients. The emailing has email campaign reporting. So if you've been using something like a MailChimp or a Constant Contact to send out your emails, you'll be familiar with being able to see your open rates, and you can drill down into who opened your email and how many times and who clicked on a link. All of that's included in the email marketing portion of the platform. We have a unique setup wizard, so it actually walks you through step by step all the features I show you today. You'll be able to set up through a quick setup wizard. And we offer what we call our concierge setup service, and I'll talk more to that in detail after I go through the system. We do have the ability to sync with your Google accounts. We also can sync with Outlook, with your iCal, your Mac calendar, and there's a mobile app that you can use while you're on the go. And then these items in blue, I'm going to do my best to get to today, but again, I really want to focus on the CRM piece first and foremost. But again, include a website. There's the ability to add social media marketing as well as mass texting. So being able to send a text message to large chunks of your database. So without delaying any further, I know we all want to see the system, so I'm going to dive right into it. And here we are in Exact Contact. I'm going to do a quick system orientation for you. So for those of you that have seen Exact Contact, fantastic. Thank you for joining us. I just want to point out that all of the main menu items are always down the left-hand side of your screen. So there's no layers, there's no digging, there's no trying to find certain items. It's always down the left-hand side of your screen, and your contact list is always down the right. And this is like an e-Rolodex. This is like your phone contact list. You can filter by specific names. Helps if I spell it right. You can filter by really anybody within the system. So making it easy for you to, let me just log back in here as I'm chatting, but it makes it easy for you to filter and just search for any one specific contact at any given time. You also can search. So this filter is just a filter by a keyword perhaps, but you can also search, and I'll get into the description of how this search works in just a moment. Now, I talked to you just a second ago about our Keep in Touch coach, and you'll notice it's right here at the top of the dashboard. And this dashboard space, as we move through the system, you'll notice this center space in the system actually becomes your workspace. So if we're in mass emails, the mass email editing is right down the middle. So this part of the screen will change as we go through the system today. You can, by the way, also hide the menus and hide your contacts if you want a larger workspace. Your system may actually do that automatically if you're on a smaller screen size or if you're zoomed in on the font. So again, just getting back to the top here to the Keep in Touch coach, and we'll go through the other dashboard items as we talk through the system. But I want to start with the Keep in Touch coach, and I'm actually going to back up a half a step to talk about status, type, and groups. And the status is like the widest part of your funnel. So this is your business pipeline, and each little colored section here in the business pipeline has a different status associated with it. These are meant to be the widest part of your funnel. So your hot prospects, your current clients, your past clients. And what the Keep in Touch coach does is it specifically uses the status to determine how often you should be reminded, and actually you determine how often you want to be reminded. We give you some defaults out of the gate, so you're not ever staring at a blank screen going, how often should I follow up with my hot prospects or with my long-term prospects? We give you some suggestions, making it easy for you to have a starting point. And you can adjust these. So if you think, 7 days is a little often for hot prospects, maybe I'm going to follow up with my hot prospects every 10 days or every 14 days. So you can adjust and make that your own. Same thing with long-term prospects. With past clients, current clients, we've turned off the reminder simply because presumably you're in touch with your current clients on a regular basis based on what you're working on with them. and of course, your past clients and past clients who are strong referral sources. So these would be those past clients that have already sent you a referral, past clients that you know, are going to really champion you as the realtor to call within the rest of their network. So, again, pick and choose how you want to use these categories and statuses. And what the Keep in Touch coach then does is it pops people up to the front of the Keep in Touch coach at the next appropriate interval. And it's the next appropriate interval based on your last logged activity. Now, last log prospecting activity, ours is a little out of date. Demo account, yours is going to be 7 days ago or 10 days ago, depending on how you set your reminder for your hot prospects. Hot prospects are one thing. As salespeople, we're all pretty good at following up with our hot prospects. We certainly know what to do when we have a client. And we're pretty good at following up with those hot prospects that say, yeah, you know what, we're going to start looking like next month or within the next 3 months, right? You're going to start feeding them information, staying top of mind with them right away so that you're the realtor that they call when they are ready to move ahead. But long-term prospects, and this is not just a real estate salesperson problem, it is a salesperson problem. We tend to let those long-term prospects fall through the cracks. And just like past clients, we have to stay top of mind with everyone in our database, regardless of where they are in that pipeline. Because if we don't, then guaranteed, they're going to go online, they're going to do a quick property search, they're going to call the agent that's sitting right next to that listing on the page. But if you've been feeding them information and showing them how you're the top real estate agent that has the most information that you can send them, they're that much more likely to think of you when it is time for them to buy or sell their next home. So again, Keep in Touch coach, floating everybody to the top of your list. If we were looking at, say, our past clients, we're making sure that nobody ever falls through the cracks. And this could be something like you call them every 6 months, right? You have a reminder that pops up on your dashboard every 6 months and makes it easy for you to follow up with these people. Now, just while we're on the subject of contacts and categorization, contact records in Exact Contact are meant to be a household contact record. So meaning it has the main contact and their spouse. You can, if I say edit contact here, you'll see some of the other features. So that opens it up to like save it, delete the contact. Hopefully you're not deleting contacts, but you can also, update their phone numbers, add additional email addresses, add phone numbers and email addresses for their spouse. The system will auto-populate a salutation. But as you've noticed here, this says Andrew and this says Andy. So we've updated the salutation to be just that much more personalized. Their home address, of course. And here's where we're getting into some of the things that are real estate specific. So under their home address, you can also keep track of their move-in date. So this is the date that they moved into the home that you helped them buy. And that's a key follow-up date. And the system has an automatic reminder and the ability to automatically email them. I'll go there in just a second. You can keep track of their work details if it's relevant, even putting them into a business directory or a frequently used listing related parties list. That's a mouthful. What it means is these would be people that are other professionals that you work with frequently when you have a listing. So it could be someone like a mortgage agent. It could be a general contractor. Maybe it's an electrician, someone that just helps you when you have a listing, photographer, etc. And then we get into the contact groups, the original source, and the status. And again, this is some of the core functionality of the system that allows you to not just categorize your contacts, not just, put in the list of who are my past clients, but also tag them as your A list perhaps, or your B list, right? And if the contact groups that you choose are as sort of straightforward as just your A list and your B list, that will at least allow you to filter by, and your A list is that 20% of your database that's going to run 80% of your business over time. That doesn't mean they necessarily have 80% of your business, but they will help you build your funnel, right? It could be the people that, especially if you're just starting out in real estate, who goes in your A list, who would you tell about a big life event, right? Starting a new career in real estate is a big life event. So it's sort of like if you were to be getting married or having a child or doing something major in your life, who would you tell? That's your A-list. So it's just starting there, and then from there your A-list gets your past clients, the people that had a great experience, the people that refer people, and we just build that out. So making it easy for you to then search, filter, and target message just these key people. So if you wanted to do some kind of client appreciation event, this makes it easy to pull up just your past clients, just your A-list, and send that communication out to them. The original source is also important. It allows you to track your referrals, your repeat business, where your contacts are coming from. And it even lets you track who sent you this referral. So again, all great ways to just keep yourself in contact with your database, but also have those little reminders to yourself for like, hey, if I can look up Peter Baker and I see all the people he's referred, like, wow, I really need to do something to show my appreciation for Peter and all of his referrals. So the system has the ability to show you that detail. Personal details in the contact record are things like birth dates and work anniversaries, might be marital status, income, etc., allowing you to filter, based on those different ranges. You can add other household members. Maybe they have children that you want to include, just so you have their names handy. Maybe they have, an ensuite apartment, and someone else lives in that particular section of the home. An aunt, uncle, Bob, whatever. And then the pets, hobby, special interest notes. This is a freeform text field, so this will allow you to put in notes that are something relevant to this person that might be a great conversation starter. So do they have a favorite vacation spot that they've mentioned? Does Andy like a particular kind of cigar? Are they huge sports fans? What can you easily start a conversation about? And that's actually some of, part of the battle in picking up the phone and making phone calls when it's been 6 months, a year, maybe more. How do you start the conversation? And having those little tidbits of information at your fingertips makes starting that conversation that much less daunting, right? Most of us, most of you in real estate are not necessarily a true blue, I want a cold call and talk to strangers salesperson, which then also makes it challenging that, hey, this past client that I haven't talked to in a while kind of feels like I'm calling a stranger because I haven't talked to them in a while. But if you've got something to easily ease into that conversation, something that's personal and relevant, it just makes it that much easier to make that follow up. So that's just a little bit about the contact record. I'm going to jump over into just a little bit more detail about how the system logs your activities in history. So any email sent from within Exact Contact is logged in the contact history. Those could be automated e-cards. You're seeing things like a birthday here. Could be an activity plan email. That would be a drip email. Maybe your monthly e-newsletter, or maybe it's just your phone calls. And if you're logging your prospecting updates, entering notes, all of that communication shows up in the history here. So again, making it easy to see what was my last communication? What was the last email that I sent them? What email did they open? Now, of course, demo database, not real email address, so all of the emails are unopened, but you will see which email your clients have received, which email your clients are opening, and can perhaps start a conversation based on the subject line of that email. So again, just little tidbits that make it easier for you to follow up, especially if you're following up with past clients where you don't talk to them every day, right? You're not even talking to them every week or every month. And the longer the time goes by, that much more challenging, that much more sort of daunting to pick up the phone and somehow initiate that conversation. So having these little tidbits of information at your fingertips just makes it that much easier. Now, as we're talking about the keep in touch thing, and we're talking about, the email newsletters and the follow-up campaigns, let me show you what those look like. So I mentioned Exact Contact includes a monthly email newsletter. And it looks something like this. It will have your branding at the top here. You can customize the color, and of course it's going to be your headshot, your company logo and information. And then the greeting or salutation, so dear Andy and Jessica, dear Dave, for who you're sending it to, and the personal message. Now the personal message we write for you. It, again, is fully customizable. Your signature, however you've saved it in the system, and then your 3 articles. And the articles are articles of interest that position you as an expert in all things home ownership. So it's not just about buying and selling real estate. It is about home and things that someone could be thinking about, whether it's about their home, whether it's about buying or selling a home, and making you sound like an expert on all those subjects. So in Exact, it's super easy to say, okay, I want to turn on my monthly e-newsletter. I've gone to the keep in touch section here, by the way. My monthly e-newsletter, I want it to go out every month. I want it to go out on the second Monday of each month. You can choose a specific date if you prefer. What time of day? And do I want a reminder in my calendar? Now, the reason to have a reminder in advance is because the e-newsletter is customizable. So although we've written it for you, you can actually preview and edit any of the contents. You might want to change an image, you might want to edit the copy within an article, you might even want to add your own article, something that's local, or perhaps highlight a new listing at the beginning of the month. So you can customize it. So it's great to have that reminder in advance, like, hey, you got 5 days before your e-newsletter goes out. That's your time frame to make your customizations. Give it a snazzy subject line, something that's going to be enticing, often something local. If you've got a slogan, great place to include it there. If you're in Canada, you do have the ability to have a French English version or just the English version. The system will automatically include your header and signature, and that's the email header here, email signature here, and I'll show you where we create those in the system in a moment. And then the social media sharing buttons, these are buttons that go at the bottom of the email, and when someone reads your email, if they click that Facebook button, they can share it to their social media. So great best practice, share it to your own social media. Make sure you are in your list, you're getting a copy of this newsletter when it goes out, and can then share it to your social media. It just means you have the ability to then leverage that content across those other platforms, put it in front of potentially different people that might be on your social media, but not here in your database. The little check boxes here make this completely automated. Basically, it means that anyone who gets added to your database going forward automatically gets added to the distribution for your e-newsletter. So anyone that you add to the system comes in from your website. If you're syncing your contacts with your Google contacts or your Outlook or your mobile device contacts, then the system automatically adds them to receive your next monthly email newsletter. And when you want to customize the monthly e-newsletter on a monthly basis, you get that notification 5 days in advance. You log in, go to mass email, open up the monthly e-newsletter, and you have the ability to preview this particular month's newsletter. These look like great topics. Yep, looks good to me. And you can let it send. Or if you wanted to customize that personal message or customize the articles, you have the ability to edit, exclude, and even add your own article. And the system gives you a blank format to make it easy to make it makes it the same format as the rest of the e-newsletter. So again, if you're not already doing some kind of consistent monthly, e-newsletter, some kind of follow-up, you can even include in this, if you want to sort of delay it in the month a little bit, add something like the market stats that your MLS sends out. I've seen agents doing that where they'll send their e-newsletter a little later in the month because they're waiting for the first week of the month when their MLS sends out some of the stats. So great opportunity to include that in your e-newsletter. And if you're not doing that already, then I think you're missing an opportunity to just stay top of mind with that consistency every month. It doesn't mean that every person on your list is going to read your e-newsletter every month, but believe me, they'll see it. They'll see the subject line in their email, and whether they open it and read it right away or whether they open it and read it later, right? It's still there in their inbox. Even if all they see in their little preview window is just your contact information in your header, then you're still floating top of mind within their mind. The other type of emails, actually, I'll just stay in the mass email section for 1 second here. You'll notice there's a ton of different emails in the mass email section. There's emails that have been saved as activity plan emails. So each of these individual templates is also scheduled into a drip email. We call them activity plans. You have email greeting cards. There's templates for marketing. There's all kinds of different content saved in the system. So things like a just listed flyer. where all you have to do is pop in the contact information, pop in the property information, your contact information, and you can send out this hot new listing. Any of the emails created in the system are customizable. So even if it's a greeting card and you're wanting to send something out, I don't know if we have Easter, we do. It's the next upcoming holiday. You'd be able to customize the text here, right? You can even create your own. If you don't like any of the images that we've added, you can create your own and add it to your add it to your greeting cards. So greeting cards for basically every major holiday that you can mass email out from the system. You can even schedule your emails in advance. So if you wanted to set up your Easter card now, you could schedule it for the appropriate upcoming date. So just ways to try to make it easier for you, take a little bit of time at the beginning of the month, and just makes it that much easier for you to follow through on. There are also all of the activity plan already set up. And again, all of that content we were just looking at, all of those individual activity plan emails have been scheduled into campaigns that have all these different, we call them tasks, but the task could be an auto sending email. Each email has information relevant to the type of person that this plan has been designed for. So if I show you go back to the header here, this is a 2-year-long campaign for a first-time home buyer who's currently renting. There's also a campaign, since we're on the subject of staying top of mind with your past clients, there's a 5-year-long campaign specifically for your sphere of influence. So these are the contacts, the contact points that make it easy to stay top of mind. This is 5 years worth of email, and essentially it goes out every 30 days. And if it's not an email, it's a phone call reminder to you with a little subject of what you might want to check into. So again, making it super simple for you. Every one of these emails looks like a personal note from you. It'll still go with the greeting, dear Dave, dear Andy and Jessica, and your signature, and it's meant to look like you're sending them a personal note. So they might be getting your marketing piece, your monthly e-newsletter. They're also getting these nice little notes in between that just keep floating you, up to the top of mind, top of their inbox, with tidbits on real estate that position you as an expert in all things real estate. So super, super simple to do. You can, again, customize these campaigns, customize the individual emails, but you're never going to sit in front of your blank screen and try to think of content, try to find a way to communicate with everyone in your database. It's one thing to have the plan of, okay, I want to make this many touches. It's a completely separate task to then actually come up with the content. So that's where Exact Contact comes in, and there's a ton of content already written in the system here for you. So just as an example, let's say we were looking at Andy and Jessica, and they're a past client, and we want to assign them to that campaign for the 5-year sphere of influence. I'm actually going to unassign this one for a second. And if I say, go to Andy and Jessica's profile in the system, I click the Keep in Touch tab, and I can easily assign a new campaign. You'll notice that all of the campaigns, by the way, are in both email and letter format. So if you didn't have someone's email address, if you have a client that just simply doesn't have email, all of these campaigns do also exist in a printable letter format. Instead of auto sending as an email, what the system does is it prompts you with a task reminder to print and mail the letter. And you can print the mail merged letter with their address and name and everything right on it from the system. So let's find that 5-year sphere of influence campaign. I say continue, and it's going to give me a list of all the different tasks and the dates for those tasks. Now, if I were looking at this and thinking, oh, there's a specific date here that aligns with a holiday, maybe I'm going to avoid that particular date, you can simply adjust a specific day and just make sure that the plan's going out on dates that are appropriate. You might want to avoid, things like major holidays, Christmas, etc. Assign the plan and create the selected tasks, and you're done. The system will automatically deliver each of those emails, pop those phone call reminders into your task list, making it super simple to not just assign this, but also, have that consistent ongoing follow-up. Now, I've just showed you how to assign it to one individual contact. That doesn't mean that you have to assign it contact by contact. If you've got a database, a list of people that you've been communicating with that's fairly large, you don't necessarily want to go through contact by contact. And that's where things like those groups and statuses come in. So if I wanted to search by all of my past clients, right? Maybe just any of my past clients that are strong referral sources, past clients that are just past clients. I'm going to search for all of those. I've got 32 people. I can do the same action, but with all of them at once. So if I check off everyone in this list view, I can now use the mass action to mass assign an activity plan. And I might want to mass assign that 5-year sphere of influence email nurture campaign to all 32 contacts all at once. And now everybody's on the same schedule. They're all going to be getting that email. And then as someone becomes a past client, I can simply assign it one contact at a time. So especially as you're getting started with the exact contact system, you want to be able to mass assign so that you're not having to go through your list one by one and choose a campaign specifically for that individual. If you already know that they're past clients, or you know that they're hot prospects, or you know that they're long-term prospects, if you know that they're buyers or sellers, there's a campaign for that. And it just makes it so easy to say, okay, I've got all my first-time buyers. I've got all of my hot prospect sellers, and just assign the campaign to them. So I see some good questions, and I think as I've been presenting here, I've been sort of reading the Q&A over my other shoulder and making sure I'm speaking to some of the items when you guys are asking questions. So just want to reiterate that. Keep asking your questions. Julio's doing a great job of answering, but if there's something that's in line with what I'm presenting, thank you, Chris, for how do I assign this thing? I appreciate you asking those specific questions. And I'm going to jump back over to the mass email section just for a moment, because I mentioned at the beginning, I think when we were still in the PowerPoint presentation, that you can see who opened your emails. So would it be really cool to know who is opening your emails? If you sent out a hot listing to everyone in your database, or maybe you just sent it to your hot buyer prospects, maybe you sent a client appreciation event invite to all of your past clients. Don't you want to know who opened it? Who's getting your emails? Who's interested in your emails? Especially with things like you're just listed, those types of announcements, right, that you really want to get some traction from. Going to the campaign reporting section in mass email can show you your open rates for any specific email. And if I pop in here, it can also show you your unique open details. And this is pretty cool. This is not just who opened your email, it's also how many times they opened your email. So each of these contacts has opened the email once, but what that means is they each opened it once. What if this number was higher? What if it was 5 or 7 or 10 or 20? Well, I don't think Rich and Jennifer would have opened the email, upwards of 5 times themselves. It likely means they forwarded the emails on to others in their network. So you're not just seeing who's reading the emails yourself, you're also seeing who may have passed your email along and passed that out to a larger chunk of their database. You can even see in the link analysis, now of course, demo database, this particular email didn't have a link, but you'd be able to see the same thing, a list of exactly who clicked on your link. So especially with the example of something like a hot listing, you might send it out to your 50 hot prospects that you think might be interested in that listing. And maybe there's some past clients in that list too, but you send it out, you see that, Bob and Steve and Mark and Susan opened your email 5+ times, you might want to reach out to them. And it doesn't have to be, hey, I saw that you opened my email a ton of times, or I saw that you might have forwarded my email, because that's awkward. It's more a conversation of, hey, I have this hot new listing. And more than likely, before you even get much further than that sentence, they're going to say, oh my God, I saw that. But the kids had soccer practice and we had to go to Costco and yada, yada, yada. Remind me again, I've forgotten. How many bedrooms does it have? Yeah, that was in that neighborhood that we really want to move to. So you're creating that initial conversation simply by sending the email and then following up with those hot leads that are then sort of floating to the top of your database. So it's easy to stay top of mind because you can see who is already remembering you. It also, just on the opposite end of that spectrum, you can see who's not opening your emails, who maybe you need to follow up with more proactively because maybe they're just not an email person, right? They don't check their email as often. And the people that are not opening your emails or that, just sort of intermittently open your emails, maybe you can make, more phone calls. Maybe you can do something that's more of a mail campaign with those people. So just helping you view exactly what's going on in your list and maintaining communication over a longer period of time. So I'm going to pop back to our dashboard for just a second because I want to just speak to things like we talked about reminders and setting a reminder for your monthly email newsletter. Things like that would show up in your task list. Anything that's in your calendar shows up in the appointments here. And just on the subject of, you're seeing here move-in anniversary and birthdays, and how did the system get those? Well, if I go back to keep in touch, you'll notice there are reminders for birthdays and move-in anniversaries. Birthdays are great. Everybody likes being wished happy birthday. We all remember our own birthday for the most part. We kind of know that at some point social media told someone that it was our birthday, and that's why we're getting a note from them, which is fine, right? It still feels good. But, and I would argue, send the birthday reminder. Or, when you get the birthday reminder, rather, follow up. But better yet, why not automate it? The system can actually automatically send a birthday greeting card on that person's special date. Now, move-in anniversaries, I would argue, are that much more important for you as real estate agents to be following up with your past clients. And again, the settings for birthdays are virtually the same, so I'm just going to show you one. Move-in anniversaries, because I love this. I love following up on a date that is personal, that is professional. It ties them back to you in some way. You helps them find that beautiful home. It's also a date that, quite frankly, they've probably forgotten. Right? A year later, 3 years later, 5 years later, 7 years later, and you're still following up on that special day. And they're going, oh my God, yeah, it's been another year. How many years ago was it we moved in here? Wow. Right? And you're just sparking that reminder that not only are they still in that beautiful home, but they're going to remember that you helped them find that beautiful home. And it's a matter of checking a couple little boxes here. Put it in your calendar. You can send a task in advance if you want to do something more than just send the e-card. And the system will automatically assign contacts with a move-in date to the event. What these two checkboxes mean is that initially you're activating this event for all of the contacts in your list that have a move-in date under their home address, like we saw with Andrew and Jessica. And it also means that any contact that you add a move-in date to in the future will automatically get assigned to this reminder. So if you're using your active business, and you're keeping track of the properties that they're buying or selling, anytime you update the move-in date, the system will automatically create the reminder and can automatically send them an email greeting card. So again, same thing applies for birthdays. You're obviously just going to choose a birthday card and set up the settings for the birthday card, but there's numerous different templates to choose from. Feel free to customize or create your own as well. And then the system is emailing this nice little greeting with their name, your signature, and just following up with them on that key date every single year. So birthdays, move-in anniversaries, super important to just make those touches, to do that follow-up, especially with your past clients. So how many touches are we at now? We've got our monthly e-newsletter, that's one. You've got maybe a monthly email going out as part of a drip campaign, that's two. Their birthday, their move-in anniversary, if they're a past buyer. So, I mean, there's, two monthly touches and 2 annual touches for all of your past clients in your database. So we've done that in, I'm talking a lot. So we've done it in less than 40 minutes, but you can really do it in about less than 10 when you're setting up the system. So on that subject, just in terms of setup, before I forget, and I know there's a couple of questions, I'll try to get back to those. Just in terms of setup, when you first get started with Exact Contact, there's a setup wizard that you're prompted to start. And I would encourage you to go through that setup wizard because it's going to help you turn on basically all of the features of the system that initially will help you with maintaining that keep in touch communications. Obviously, first thing is update your password because we give you a default one that's not easy to remember. If you've already done that, you can skip it. putting in your contact and address information, this makes the emails all anti-spam compliant. So at the bottom of any of your emails, let me just go back to our sample here, you will have your unsubscribe link and your full business address in small print. And these are just, per anti-spam legislation, you have to have your full business address, so do fill this out. This also helps populate your email header. So you'll notice that the phone number and the contact numbers and the web address, ABC Realty, are already populated here. And then you would just pop in your photo and your logo by uploading them from wherever they're stored on your computer. You can change this background color. So if you know the RGB color, ask your office. They have a color brand guide. You can match it exactly to your logo, or you can just sort of choose from the color wheel, however you want to do that. And you also set up your email signature. So again, this is just populating that top and bottom of your email. So signature, by the way, that you don't have to include the actual signature. This is a signature that's been scanned and then uploaded as an image. You could just have, the contact information, your text-based signature here below. You can include hyperlinks if you want to send them back to your website, include your accreditations, accolades, any certifications that you have, and the system will auto-populate that on top of things like your monthly e-newsletter. I'm going to skip this step in our setup wizard because we've already done these things when we went to keep in touch and looked at the default settings, but just want to highlight how easy it is to walk through this quick little setup wizard and have instantly things set up like your birthdays, your move-in anniversaries. And even if you don't have those dates on the contact records when you first upload them, because it's automated, anytime you learn somebody's birthday, and it could just be like, oh yeah, it's Susan's birthday on the weekend. Oh really, it's Saturday is her birthday? Yeah, great. Go find, you open the contact record and update Susan's birthday, because then the system can deliver that email for you. So it's those key little tidbits that as you're making those phone calls, as you're following up with people, that you are updating, if you learn something new about them, that you're updating that information in your CRM. Now, you're not always in front of your computer. I get that. And that's why we have a mobile app. So if you're on the go, if you're chatting with somebody, you're in your car, you're at Starbucks, you're at you're sitting at an open house and you're waiting for the next appointment, what have you, you need to be able to still be working, and you have your contact list, you have the ability to make notes, you have the ability to set yourself reminders to phone people right from the mobile app, no matter where you are. So, just easy to follow up with your prospects, your past clients, to make notes. If you learn something about them, you can go right into the contact record and update that contact record on the fly. So you're not having to, you can customize anything just while you're on the go without having to try to remember it later when you're back in front of your computer. So we understand that, you're not always at your computer, so you don't always have this full version in front of you. But again, birthdays, move-in anniversaries, anytime you learn something new or something changes, make a quick little note in your CRM. Your CRMs can only be as good as what you put into it to some degree, right? So there's lots of automation, but you should also still be continuously updating that database, updating information. If something changes within your contacts' lives, it's important to be able to easily follow up with them on that. Setting up the Keep in Touch coach, we looked at the settings for that, so I'm not going to do that here, but just again, skimming through the setup wizard here to show you that step by step, there's 15 steps, and it actually goes as far as system preferences, your lead capture. You can capture leads again through Zillow, 5streethomes.com, from your website, from your exact contact website. We make it easy to receive notifications of your leads via text and or email, like any good CRM should. Your text marketing through the system. And now this I will speak to in just a moment. The text marketing allows you to mass text through the CRM. So it allows you to send out a mass text message, sort of like a mass email, but in text message format. We make it easy to get your contact list to us. So if you're initially getting set up, you can actually just click and upload your file from your computer. That emails it to our support team, who will then upload it to the system and email you and let you know your list has been uploaded. So we do it all for you. If you are a team, you can actually create a team within Exact Contact. So turn your account into a team leader, invite your team members, and make sure that they also have access to the system. You can turn on your agent website. You can turn on your social stream, which is our social media posting service, and just making sure that the whole system is set up and working for you. We actually do that with you. So there's a ton of different features in the system. Don't feel, I don't, the reason I'm going through the setup wizard step by step with you a little bit is because I don't want anyone to feel overwhelmed. It's easy to sort of log into a new system and think, oh, wow, there's a lot here. It's because there is a lot here. But if you get those initial things set up and working for you in the background, it's then a lot easier to move forward with using things like the active business area of the system, where you can actually enter properties, track your buyers and sellers, and have reminders for all of the key dates for these different transactions. I'm actually not going to dive deep into the active business section of the system today. It actually can be its whole own webinar. There's a lot to get into, but I just want to highlight that it is available, but don't feel overwhelmed like you have to do everything at once. Even if you just get your list into the system and start setting up some of those automated follow-ups, the e-newsletters, the drip campaigns, the birthday and move-in anniversary reminders, if you weren't doing those before, you're going to be far, far ahead of where you were. And then once those items are established, it's that much easier for you to, you've got everybody organized in one place, then you can dive in to those additional items within the system. Things like the active business, setting goals for yourself for your gross commission, breaking that down into how many listings and buyers you need to have to achieve this goal. And of course, on the front end of that, your prospecting activity that's going to help you achieve that goal. You have to add new contacts and get referrals. And this is what we're talking about. If we're following up with our past clients, this piece comes much more easily, right? And then of course, every time you get a new referral, that's one, that's a series of phone calls. It could be a series of handwritten notes. Pop buys, when we can do those again, right? You're just setting yourself up to have a visual representation of your goals. And I just last item here, show you the rest of the dashboard, where things like those goals, every time you log your activity, the system shows you where you're at towards achieving your goal. Same thing with your closed business. So again, items that as you work through the system, as you get your contacts set up, those automated items sending out, start using the active business. Set yourself goals so that as you have listings and buyer sales close, the closed business widget right on your dashboard can show you where you're at towards achieving those goals. And of course, other little dashboard widgets that just give you a snapshot of what is in your pipeline value-wise, who your buyers and sellers are, what's the value of your repeat and referral business. And of course, this is tracked not just by you entering the listings and the transactions, but by tagging that contact initially with an original source of referral and perhaps even who referred that person. And of course, then when we look at things like our original source reporting, you can see where did my new contacts come from? And of course, if most of them were, you've got 35% of our business new contacts from referrals, but where did I actually close business? And it looks like, hey, 45% of my closed transactions were from referrals. So these are aligning, right? And this really cool dashboard widget is just a visual way to see where are your contacts coming from and where is my business actually coming from? Sort of aligned, but somewhat separate things. So that's just a little overview of the rest of the dashboard. It looks like I'm actually not going to be able to get into websites and, and all of the bells and whistles today, and that's okay. Really, the purpose of today's webinar was to walk through the CRM and those key items that make it easy for you to follow up and stay top of mind, not just with new leads and with prospects. You know what to do with new leads and with prospects. The more you deliver upfront, the faster you follow up with them, the more information you provide, the better, and the more likely they are, for them to become a client. But we don't want to, at the same time, our past clients, our longer term prospects falling through the cracks. So doing those little things like your e-newsletter, like having reminders for phone calls, even reminders for, for sending handwritten notes, or just, sending them something in the mail makes it that much easier to stay top of mind. They're always floating to the top of your list. So I've got just a couple last little items, because I just want to sort of reiterate this, that Exact Contact will help you. Any good real estate CRM will help you organize your contacts, keep in touch and stay top of mind, nurture and convert more referrals and prospects into clients that then become your long-term, sphere of influence, help you plan for success with your goal setting and tracking, and ultimately expand your business because you're doing a better job managing your contact list, and some of the marketing can be automated. So it's taking that onus off of you. You can do what you do best. You can make your phone calls and go to your appointments and work your business while those marketing pieces and those follow-up e-cards are going out in the background. So we really want to set you up for success. And just like we showed at the beginning of this presentation with some of the statistics, the studies that have been done by Active Rain, by NAR, agents who take advantage of a system to help run their business, or real estate CRM, they have more organized and profitable business, which will of course benefit you better long term, even into retirement. And what I mean by that is it's sort of twofold. You could sell your business. You could sell this list because it's been so well managed and you can easily see the overall long-term value. You also could sort of semi-retire, and you've got these great marketing pieces still nurturing your database. I talked to an agent not long ago who's been using Exact Contact for a long time. She used other CRMs in the past, does a ton of marketing, has a very extensive database, is semi-retired and still earning six figures, like works like 25 hours a week and is still earning from her real estate business, even though she doesn't have to work nearly as hard as she did when she first started out. And it's because she's done such a great job staying top of mind over time. So let me flip back to how we get you started. Our support team's fantastic. And I don't just have to say that because I work here. They are really great people. They're really knowledgeable. They're super patient. It's customer service with a technical flair rather than tech support. So we've got amazing support people that will walk you through setting up your account. That's our concierge setup service. It's included. And then, part of that concierge setup service is setting up all of the features we talked about today, plus more, whatever else you want to get initiated when you first get started. And then you have unlimited phone support Monday to Friday, 9 till 8. You can also email support. You've got a chat widget where you can talk to them right within the system. We've got online help guide where you can, if you prefer to read the instructions, there's tutorial videos. So there's all kinds of resources making it easy for you to communicate with us and make sure the system is set up and working for you. Now, I think there's probably some questions. I've been ignoring the Q&A for a little bit here, but I'm sure there's some questions about what does this thing cost? Well, I've broken it down for us. So if you were to go out and find a real estate CRM on its own, you'd probably be looking somewhere between $30 and $50 a month. To find someone to write you a monthly e-newsletter, 25 to 50 perhaps, somewhere in that range, roughly. An email marketing platform that then allows you to send your monthly e-newsletter, another $15 to $30, plus a website, which we didn't get to today, but next time. You're probably looking at $90 to $230 a month all around. Exact Contact is an all-in-one platform, and we include all of the features that I talked about today, plus things that I didn't get to, like the monthly e-newsletter, for $39 a month. You can save an additional 15% with annual billing. And I do have a special offer for you. Normally it's a 5-week free trial. So your first 5 weeks are free. I do actually have an extended 60-day free trial. So your first 2 months are free. That includes the monthly e-newsletter, all of the drip campaigns that you want to send within those first 2 months. We believe that once you get the system set up and working for you and seeing the business value, that you'll be a customer for life. And we want you to have the time to get that set up and really seeing that value before there's any billing involved. So it's almost double our usual 5-week free trial, which is 35 days. It's $33 a month if you do annual billing, $39 if you do month by month. And you can get started at exactcontact.com/Ask active rain 60. That'll give you, if you type that into your URL bar, that'll give you access to it. If Julia, if you could put that into the Q&A and send it back to everybody, that would be great. And if you are a rookie agent, by the way, forgot to talk about rookie agents. If you're new to real estate, if you've been in the business less than a year, your first 6 months are free. And just like we talked about at the beginning, that top performing agents are more likely to be using a real estate CRM. They're more likely to have these systems in place. We want to give new agents that advantage to get themselves set up and working right out of the gate. Don't wait. If you're a rookie agent and you're thinking, I don't have enough contacts to start a CRM, you're wrong. You know more people than you think. Put them all into a CRM. Every new person that you meet, put them into your CRM. And then you're not 2-3 years down the road realizing that you may have missed out on some great business simply because you didn't have everybody organized. You didn't have the systematized follow-up. So whether you've got a real estate CRM today, and you're thinking about switching because it's just not working for you, if you don't have a real estate CRM today, please try Exact Contact for 60 days. I really think it will help accelerate your business. And if you're a new agent and you don't have anything in place, just get something that's going to keep you organized and make it easy for you. Before we sign off, I will do some Q&A from the Q&A box. I know we're just a little bit over the hour. I appreciate everybody sticking around all the way through. There is a survey at the end of the webinar. Would love your feedback on the webinar. Every little bit of feedback that we get just helps us, make our webinars better, make our business and our communication with you that much better. Chris, I love the comment. This will accelerate your business. Chris must be a customer. Absolutely love those comments. We've got great testimonials from a lot of our customers. Dwayne, good question. Can we use this platform for recruiting? Yes, but you would use Exact Recruiter. We actually have a slightly different version of the system that's been customized to recruiting real estate agents and has content that is meant to communicate with real estate agents. So things like the e-newsletter have business tips for agents rather than home buying and selling tips. So Dwayne, if you're interested in Exact Recruiter, if you want to pop your phone number into the Q&A there, someone can follow up with you after the presentation today. Let me just see what else we've got in the Q&A that I might have missed that might be relevant just to present to the whole group. Oh, Joseph, good question. Would you still need a program like Constant Contact or can all the emails be sent within the CRM? So you wouldn't actually need Constant Contact because the mass email and the drip email platform are built right into the CRM. So that also means you don't have to maintain two different lists. You're not maintaining your database list and your emailing list. It's all one list. And then you pick and choose from your database who you want to send specific emails to. So again, all in one, trying to make it simple for you so you're not having to maintain things in multiple levels. The team approach, I think that was Joseph's question as well, just in terms of cost. Exact Contact does have a Teams version. Each team member does have a cost. It's slightly lower at $27 a month, same 15% savings on top of that if you're doing the annual billing. The team accounts allow multiple agents to access the same database, but from their own unique login. It allows the agents to share tasks and appointments and see each other's notes and comments, but you can also limit your team members to see just specific contacts, right? If you've got maybe a buyer agent that you work with and you want them to just see the buying contacts, you can limit the ones that they're seeing versus the team leader seeing everything. So if you are a team and are interested in the team approach, again, we'll be happy to answer any of those additional questions after the live session today. And Peter, good question. Can you forward emails into the system and keep them with a client and or transaction? Yes. So if you're emailing someone, you're not always mass emailing, right? You might be emailing a client just one-to-one from your Outlook, your Google, your Yahoo, your AOL, whatever email platform you're using. There is a way to automatically copy that email into the CRM as you're sending it. So it's not even a forwarding of the emails, it's a blind copy to a special email address that then puts a copy of that email right into the contact record in the system. So means so much, so makes it so much easier to just keep all of that communication in one place. So I am going to wrap up with that. I think we've gotten to most of the questions. If there was something that we didn't get to in the Q&A, we will follow up with you either later today or first thing tomorrow. We'll be reaching out to anybody that had questions that we didn't get to live. And I appreciate you guys all sticking around, appreciate your feedback on the survey, and have yourselves a great rest of the day.